Braxton. Thank you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Movie Nights movie review. I am Dalton Burdett with the amazing Nicholas Iricchio. Nick, how are you, my friend?
I'm feeling accountable today, buddy.
Every time, and I don't see it coming. Guys, we're here to talk about The Accountant 2. This is the sequel to the 2016 film The Accountant, starring Ben Affleck, John Bernthal, J.K. Simmons, countless others. We saw this movie recently. We went and saw it at just a regular screening at the theater Thursday night. And I'm happy to say that the theater was a little bit more full than I thought it would be, because I want this movie to do well. And I liked, granted, it's anecdotal to where we were, but I enjoyed that. But for those of you who are new to the channel or haven't watched us for any over period of time, we love the first Accountant movie. And we know that was like a fairly divisive movie. I think it has like a 53 on Rotten Tomatoes, literally half. You either like it or you don't like it. I was on the side where not only did I like it, I really like it. I think it's a really good movie, really underrated movie. It built an interesting world, had interesting characters, told a good story. And I've always been clamoring, as have you, for The Accountant 2. And
After 9 years, I didn't think it would happen.
Yeah, but we finally got it. And I'm happy, pleased to report that this movie is awesome. I really like The Accountant 2 as well. I put it kind of on the same level as the first movie, although I don't think it's quite the same movie as the first movie. This one does have, it's more endearing, it's more fun, it's more charming. And
it's more of a two-hander, like a buddy
yeah.
cop dynamic type thing.
Yeah. And the absolute star highlight of the movie is the chemistry between Ben Affleck and John Bernthal. Their dynamic, the way they play off of each other, is so, like, you could watch them just in a room like for 2 hours, and you got some of their interactions in the first movie, but they, like you mentioned, it's more of a two-hander with both of them. Them being on screen, you are just glued to everything that they're doing, and that's where a lot of the endearment comes from that I mentioned earlier, and everything with them. Like, I could just watch them all day. I also think that the action in the film is really well done. Great hand-to-hand combat, excellent shootouts, just like the first film. The action in the third act is so damn good. I was very pleased. I was very pleased going into an action movie wanting that. I gotta say, both movies, but particularly this one, the humor worked really well. There's a really funny scene in the beginning of the film that I thought really worked. And something else that this movie does, and we're not going to spoil anything, something else this movie does that I really liked is it does something where it shows you the answer to a twist very, very early in the movie, but you don't put it together until the end. And it literally shows you, like, and you'll see when you see the movie what I mean. It shows you what's going on, and you don't put it together until it's way too late in the movie, and it's done really, really well.
But it's not even trying to be like clever or smart in
No.
that regard. Like, it's
Mhm.
like, we got a fast one on you. Like, I think it was something that just worked organically, and it is a little out there.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah.
know. But like giving it to you early, like, it's not like they're not trying to dumb it down or over explain it to you in any regard.
Yeah, and I will say the way that they build the story, like the world building, I really enjoyed. Like the school that Ben Affleck comes from, they build a lot more of that. In terms of negatives, I do think the movie is a little bit long. I think they could have trimmed it up a little bit. The pacing, for the most part, was well done. I do think there's a bit in the middle where the pacing is a bit of affected, but overall, I thought it was
Like
fine.
2 hours. I think there's like an hour 45, hour 50 in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Easy. Yeah.
I also think that the main story, while everything makes sense and is concise, the way that it all played out became a bit stale just as the movie was going. Like, you were kind of hoping for that big push for the story to like explode, and it was a slow build story. However, when it gets to the third act, oh my god. Like,
I mean, I think it's one of those movies too, as with the first one, right? I don't think I don't think the story is anything necessarily intriguing or like
it's nothing new.
It's nothing new.
Mhm.
It is, and if you want to bring it down to that, it is a very generic kind of action movie storyline. And when you have movies like that, there's nothing wrong with it, right?
Mhm.
But when you have a very great leads with great chemistry that are just having fun, I think it allows you to kind of give it a little forgiveness in that regard. I would say the same thing with like Beekeeper. we've seen movies like Beekeeper
Yeah.
1,000 times, right? Literally any Jason Statham movie, but they were having fun with it. They were playing with what you expect it to be, and I think it just results in a better product,
Yeah,
or at
and
least that's the difference between a 3 star and a 3.5, 4 star. Is
and
I think
and
that.
for me also, what both accountant movies do really well is they take a story that feels generic and familiar, and they have a reveal or a twist that not only helps the story but doesn't feel like it was an unnatural twist. They do it in both movies where they present you something that you
Mhm.
should have picked up on. That's not trying to outsmart you. It's just like, here's information. We're going to back up. And then when they peel back layers of that information, you go, oh, of course that's what's going on. And, that really helps the story.
Mhm.
I also really like that in this film, I like the Christian Wolff character and the fact that he's kind of dealing with his autism, him being on the spectrum in a way of trying to create a personal connection with somebody. He's trying to go on dates. He's trying to do those things, and you kind of just see him getting in his own way. And it's you have sympathy for this character and like what they're trying to achieve. And you also have sympathy for John Bernthal's character, a lot of sympathy for what he's kind of going through as well. And the first movie takes itself a little bit more seriously than this movie, and I don't think it was a bad choice to make this movie a bit more fun. And I don't
Yeah, no,
think
you got to go a little bigger, a little more ridiculous. I
yeah,
think
and it
that's
didn't
really,
hurt
especially
it.
after 9 years, you got to give me
Yeah,
something different.
it didn't hurt it in any way, and I think the suspension of disbelief was naturally built properly. Like at no point did the movie lose me. You know what I mean? Like and really, I gotta say the one of the big key components that keeps these movies working as well as they do, and why I hold them in the high regard that I do. This might be my second favorite movie of the year so far, behind Sinners. If I'm being honest with you, it might be. Um, I
I'd probably second that.
yeah, is the direction from Gavin O'Connor. He's such a great filmmaker, and in both movies, knocks it out of the park with the direction. Like, really a fantastic job. Like, it's the way the movie's shot, the way the movies feel, the way that the actors are utilized, everything that a great director needs to do. And him and Ben Affleck work great together. We've seen them work multiple times. It's he's kind of like he's one of the things that takes this from being a generic action movie to a great one. You know what I mean? Like
No, you
it's
have a
that's
solid
kind of how
filmmaker
it
behind
feels.
it. I think you're just going to see that shift, that change
Hmm.
is really
Yeah,
what's going to be elevating it. And I just hope that we don't have to wait 9 years for Accountant 3.
I hope so. If we get Accountant 3, I hope it's within the next 3 or 4 years. That would be
Yeah.
a lot of fun. That would be a lot of fun.
Well, I think that all comes down. I think that's going to be a box office determinant, right? On this
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't remember how the first one did off the top of my head,
It
but
did fine from what I remember.
they
Like
moved over to MGM now, Amazon. So
yeah,
I can see there's more.
and they have a good relationship with Ben Affleck and Artist Equity, whose company helped make the movie. And the movie did fine, but it did really well on streaming afterwards. Which, if you watch this channel for any period of time, you know that movies do better on streaming when they come out in theaters first. So The Accountant, the first one, was a big proponent of that, especially in 2016 when Netflix was really kind of taking off, like streaming in that way.
Mhm.
So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of
Trying
that
to
all
find
plays out.
the first one on
The numbers.
It's being slow. Here we go. It made 152 million, almost 153 million at the
Mhm.
worldwide box office, and then an additional 20 million in Blu-ray and DVD sales, ultimately resulting in $40 million production budget, 3.8 times its budget.
Yeah, it did well.
So,
It
if
did
this
really
one
well.
can get around the same, I don't see why they wouldn't work on a 3, especially, I've been watching Ben Affleck's promoting of this movie and everything like that,
Mhm.
and he is actually very passionate about the movie. I think he really believes in it, and that
Yeah,
was part of the push too, especially because Amazon, it could have been a Prime original.
yeah,
So
and
I think it's a movie and a franchise he believes in. So I think if they have a good in for the third one, I feel like he would definitely want to explore that sooner rather than later.
a big compliment I want to give to Ben Affleck and to Matt Damon as well. Their company, Artist Equity. I love the way they operate, where they make sure that everyone involved gets back end points and pay, like to try to even out the pay scales there. But not only that, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are such good filmmakers. You can tell that they love movies, and there are little things in the script. And while we had some like the story saying like, oh, it's a bit like kind of a generic action movie, there's little character nuances that happen throughout the movie that was a point of Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, the screenwriter Gavin O'Connor, all collaborating and saying, hey, I think this little moment should occur with this character at this time. Like I think, and it's those little things can really smooth out your movie and really make it not rough around the edges. And again, I don't think this movie is good. I think it's great. I think the first
I love
movie's
the
great.
storyline too with involving an office chair. I
Yes.
thought that was great.
That was a great through line. Absolutely. And and I'm not going to spoil it, but like, is it the chair was kind of the whole idea of that. I thought that was really well done and wonderful. Guys, if you love the first movie, I think you'll like this movie. But also, if you didn't like how the first movie took itself seriously, I think that problem is solved with this movie. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think the Rotten Tomato score for this movie is like 20% higher or something like that, which is really rare.
Roughly around there last time I checked.
Which is really rare for sequels. So, again, I love the first movie. I love this movie. I see a lot of people saying that they think this movie's better. I got a love for that first movie, man. So I don't know. I do think they're on the same level. I'd give them about the same score, probably 4 stars for me. How about you?
Yeah, I think I had it. I've been teetering back and forth between 3.5, 4 stars. I think I looked back on my letterbox and I gave the first accountant 3.5.
Mhm.
So I liked it about the same. So I kind of kept it around there. I don't think it surpassed it, but that's also me having not watched the first accountant in a minute. So maybe upon rewatch that gets bumped up. But I definitely, whatever that rating is about the same for both of them. So I just have it at 3.5 now. I think it could very easily go up to a 4.
No, 100%, 100%. But guys, the important question is, what did you think of The Accountant 2? We'd love to see your thoughts down in the comments below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next review.